close. I know you told me back to your reaction. Man, let's get into this shit. Hold up. Question on the stone. Reacting to detective realizes the witness is the actual killer. Murderer. Slice him up. Oh shit.
Andre said, don't have me stop pounding on this motherfucker's ass in a minute.
Oh shit.
Crazy. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting this at all. I got special skills.
Oh shit.
Hope your kids die from thirst. I
What
just see
the
this stuff
fuck?
on TV, but not like this.
It was January 2nd, 2017, and what started as a day of New Year's celebration took a sudden turn when a brutal attack left Marine Andre Brown clinging to life in his own doorway. Andre's girlfriend, Helen Frazier, is in the kitchen, busy preparing a meal to celebrate the new year with her boyfriend and her family. But the couple's plans are cut short when Helen hears a strange commotion in the next room. She steps out of the kitchen to find Andre lying unresponsive on the floor, and he isn't breathing. In a panic, she calls 911, and the operator walks her through CPR to save his life. It's then that she notices something is very wrong and pulls back his jacket, revealing red flowing from a stab wound in his chest. Police arrive within minutes, and Andre is transported by ambulance to a nearby hospital. By all accounts, 55-year-old Andre Brown is well liked. He's a veteran, specifically a Marine, and he's known in his friend group as someone who goes above and beyond for people he cares about. Little did he know his trademark kindness and generosity might cost him more than he could ever imagine. Though Helen is reeling after the incident, she sits down with police to help them make sense of the vicious attack. The following footage has mostly never been seen before. They've been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor and a former detective, former licensed polygraph examiner, and former hostage negotiation commander and instructor.
I was thinking about what happened at your home this afternoon, with Andre. What's your relationship?
He's my, and he says I'm his wife, but fiance or whatever, but
Okay.
yeah, let him tell it.
How long have you guys been together?
I've known him.
Man. With love is weird, cause that shit'll get you killed, goddamn. For real.
For like 10 years, but we've actually lived together since October.
You said you've known her for 10 years. Was it a friendship that time? Were you romantic that whole time?
No, it was actually just, it was a friendship, but like a deep friendship, but not wise or nothing like that.
Okay. And then how did it become more of a husband-wife relationship? It's just kind of
just see him here and there or something, you know, like on the bus, you know, when I'm going to work or something like that, and he's going to work, you know.
Helen explains that their bond became romantic in October of the previous year. They reconnected through Andre's uncle Tyrone, who was also a friend of Helen's, and sparks flew. Shortly after, Helen and Andre began living together. According to Helen, she and Andre were gearing up for a belated New Year celebration.
What the fuck? You sure this 2017? Nigga, they got a radio. What the hell is that?
Andre asked her to cook, and she was preparing all their favorite foods before they headed to her son's house to spend the evening with family.
Somebody knocked at the door. Okay.
According to Helen, Andre answered the door and was greeted by a familiar face.
And I heard somebody talking, and it was Milton.
who is Milton?
Milton, he's someone that he's been knowing. I've known him like about 15 years myself, like that. But that's his, they used to live like in the Y.
Milton and Andre had? Okay.
Yes. And he said they were best friends.
According to Helen, Milton and Andre both faced homelessness and had been in and out of the shelter system together. Last year, Andre had been able to use his veterans benefits to help secure the home he and Helen now live in. And recently, Helen says, Andre helped Milton out by letting him crash at their place for a week.
Okay, this is like, oh my gosh, the last time Milton was over there, it's probably about 4 weeks ago or something.
4 weeks ago when he stayed
like that. Yes, ma'am.
just to kind of be a friend.
Yes, ma'am. He owed him some money for the state because what he told him, he gave him his word. He would give him something because he didn't ask, because Andre would not ask. He'd give you his heart if he can,
They're friends.
Yeah.
But allegedly, Milton was still hard up for cash in the meantime, so he asked Andre for a small loan to tide him over until he got more money.
Well, he never came back. He never paid him that.
It's then, Helen says, that Milton vanished.
So, hold up. So, your dog can't stay with you. You know what I'm saying? Wait, they was homeless together? So this nigga, wait, nigga? Hell, what the fuck? This nigga lent his money to a homeless nigga. You thought the nigga was gonna pay you back.
Vanished into thin air. And over time, Andre grew a bit resentful. Helen was also bothered by the situation, as she said her favorite winter coat had mysteriously disappeared around the time that Milton had been there. It wasn't until the week prior to the attack on Andre that the couple heard from Milton again. Andre had suddenly spotted him at the bus stop, but Milton apparently ducked away, and the couple thought it might be to avoid paying him back. While Helen said Andre wasn't thrilled with this, he decided to let it go, at least for the time being, while police might begin to suspect that they have a cut-and-dry case about money on their hands. They have no idea the crazy twists and turns that they will soon uncover, as nothing about this case is quite as it seems.
And so it was surprising that he showed up in door today. Is that right?
We know we weren't. We really weren't.
Okay. Did you pick up from the conversation you were overhearing while you're busy doing the kitchen stuff? What Milton wanted, why he was there?
Because he came by, he said say Happy New Year's. They were talking at first and it escalated.
Okay, so
he said, well, you owe me $8, okay? Okay, then he left.
Nigga. This nigga was pressed over $8, nigga. Bro. Nigga, that's like, alright, bro. This is an important life lesson for anybody watching this vid. If you would give somebody, I feel like if I give somebody anything less than $10, $12, nigga, I don't want it back, bro. I don't want it back. It's $12, bro. It's $12, bro. You get the problem where you start wanting shit back, then it become a problem, bro. Like, bro, anything less than $12, nigga, as long as you ain't taking goddamn 100K, 30K, 40K, nigga, that's a loan, nigga.
My girls
$8, nigga.
Okay, and it was like, what you talking about? And I hate to cuss, I really do.
No, but that's all I want to hear it for real.
Okay, and he was like, yeah, he said, so it's not even about that, but it's just the principle of it. Right. Okay.
Like a trust thing.
Right. And they stepped outside. It was talking. They came back in, and it like calmed down. Okay. And so I just went back to doing what I was doing. Right.
Where were you at?
Because I was in the kitchen. Yes, okay. I was in the kitchen. And so, and then I heard like at the top, and I turned, but I heard the door like slam, and I looked, and Andre was laying on his back. And I was like, Andre, and he was just laying back like this, and his eyes, nothing was moving, and his mouth was open.
Yeah.
And I called, I got the phone and I called 911. And so what am I supposed to do? And I'm a certified nurse's aide. Okay, but I panicked.
Sure.
So I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? They said just pump, they tell you, to do this or whatever on his chest or whatever. They like breathe in his mouth. I said, but he's not doing anything. No, he's not breathing. They said, put your face down there. No, there's nothing coming out. Nothing.
Helen was horrified to discover that Andre wasn't breathing, and he had what appeared to be a stab wound on the upper right side of his chest. But she tells police that she continued CPR until authorities arrived a few minutes later.
So asking, is he okay? Is he all right or what? And it was like, she was telling me, she said, well, I don't know. But somebody's got to know something.
First responders continued Helen's life-saving measures, but Andre was being raced to the hospital. Police couldn't offer her much information about his prognosis just yet.
Anybody else out by the house today? Was just you and anyone else?
No, ma'am, that was it.
Okay.
Police asked Helen to describe what Milton was wearing that morning, and it's seared in her memory. A black jacket, blue jeans, and black tennis shoes. When the detectives step out of the room briefly, the reality of the situation is crushing for Helen.
About my baby, man, you guys. Tell me something. Let me know something about her.
Anything else you can tell us that we should know that I didn't ask you?
I just said what I can tell you all, because I'm like, have you heard anything about my actor?
We have. And I'm sorry to tell you, Andre.
No, he didn't.
That's why we're taking it serious. I'm not lying. I wouldn't lie though. That's why we're asking all these questions to find out. This is really.
Don't do this, please.
In this moment, Helen isn't just faced with the horrific news of the death of her boyfriend. Her home is now an active crime scene, so she'll also need to scramble to find a place to stay that night.
Yeah.
Police offer Helen a phone to reach out to loved ones, and she delivers the difficult news to family and friends.
Mother, Andre died. He did it, Mother. He died, Mom.
Okay. I get the nigga gone and shit, but she going crazy. See, this that what's the name behavior? Upstairs neighbor behavior.
This is crazy. I'm not getting this at all. You see this stuff on TV, but not like this. I need you, Mother.
Police do their best to comfort Helen, but they know the biggest comfort they can offer is justice for Andre. So, armed with a name and a description, police launch a manhunt for Milton Leake. Helen tells detectives that a group of mutual friends who know Milton often hang out outside a nearby shelter. But the weather in Des Moines is bitterly cold that day, leaving few people to point detectives in the right direction. For now, they spread word at local shelters, bus stations, and businesses, showing Milton's photo and asking people to contact them if he's spotted. And the next day, their efforts pay off. Milton is found at a local shelter, and police jump at the opportunity to interview him.
Yeah.
As Milton's story unfolds, the detectives hear a very different account of the previous day.
Well, I wanted to talk about what you were up to yesterday. Kind of mentioned.
Stayed in bed.
Okay, kind of run through your day. Can you start maybe in the
Stayed
morning?
in bed at the hotel, Village Inn, all day long. Except for when I went out and got me a ramen noodle, and then at 12 o'clock, my money came on my card. I went over to Casey's and got me a slice of pizza and a Dr. Pepper.
How long have you been staying at the Village?
5 days.
5 days.
While Milton's repeated interruptions of the detective could be signs of his nerves getting to him and a red flag for possible deception, it could also simply be his baseline when interacting with police.
Did you check in under your name?
Yes, I did.
Before you stayed at Village Inn, where were you staying?
Down at the shelter.
Why'd you leave there?
Because I got paid and I didn't want to stay there no more. Sleeping in chairs.
Yeah.
You can only have one chair. You can't have 2 chairs. Uncomfortable. People messing with your property and stuff.
As police dig further into Milton's situation, they learn that he's no stranger to the criminal justice system.
You said you've been homeless the last year.
Yeah.
What caused that situation?
Well, I said I didn't disclose that I had a criminal record 23 years ago.
Oh.
Back in Wisconsin.
Oh, your job, you mean?
No.
Oh.
I was on low income.
Okay.
Through,
oh, and then they dropped you from that?
Yeah, through Hub.
Okay.
Down in Fairway. And I was there 2 years before they did some kind of international check or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that Hub don't allow nobody with felonies.
Oh, so then they got dropped in most housing. Okay. I want to talk to you about essentially a friend of yours, Andre Brown.
Oh, I heard about that.
Okay. What'd you hear?
I just seen on the news that somebody got stabbed over there.
Who's somebody?
I don't know exactly who. I read it in the paper.
See, like, I don't get why people going to like police interviews and don't ask for a fucking lawyer, bro. See, this why you don't. This why you do not ask for a lawyer, bro. She said, oh, you heard about Andre Milton? Not bringing up no stabbing, no nothing. He talking about, oh yeah, I heard about that. Guess who's going to jail tonight? Guess who's going to jail tonight?
This morning at the library, that a 55-year-old man got stabbed. I don't know.
So you don't know who, but you know it's a 55-year-old man. You like, oh shit, it must be my friend.
At this point, local news hadn't reported who was stabbed, only the area that the murder took place.
So why did you know it was Andre that got stabbed?
Because I remember that address, 1925. Well, it had in the newspaper 925, but yeah. And then I seen the house, because I know the house got that little X thing and got to go up on the side porch.
Okay, like a picture of the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Milton's response piqued detectives' curiosity. Did he know more than he was revealing, or had he simply made an assumption? For now, they move on.
Tell me about Andre.
He's a nice fella.
Is he a friend of yours?
Well, yeah, we used to live together down at the YMCA when I first got here.
What the fuck? Bro, the YMCA, you could live at the YMCA. I did not know that. But the YMCA got everything, goddamn. Nigga, I did not know you could live in that motherfucker. That nigga look happy as hell, cuz. You happy as hell? All this in New York. I didn't know that.
He's a veteran, so they put him up in the house, in a little cottage. I stayed over there a couple of nights, a couple of times.
While his story aligns with Helen's so far, it would soon take a sharp turn.
Did he live by himself?
Well, at that time, he going through a thing. He had two different girls, but you know, he put one out and got another one. She was just as bad as the other one, so they went through a thing.
Just before Helen and Andre had become official, Milton explains that Andre had ended another relationship and asked his ex-girlfriend to move out of his home. And according to Milton, this breakup caused a bit of tension between Andre and Helen at first. Helen doesn't deny this with authorities. She even tells them that there was some early tension in her relationship when Andre's former flame needed to pick up some of her belongings. But she also says that their issues are largely in the past.
Hold up. This nigga 55. Wait. This nigga right here 55. Shorty, wait, the picture about to pop back up. Alright, this nigga 55. Shorty don't look like, she look like she push around the same age. Bro, I'm sorry, bro. You should not be on no high school shit. And you down there pushing goddamn 6, nigga. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
Be together. They're even discussing a wedding. In Milton's interview, the first discrepancy between his and Helen's story emerges.
Have you stopped by there even to say hi to Andre or anything since that time?
I haven't been back there since.
Okay. Have you seen him at Dart recently, or when maybe the last time you even caught a glimpse of him?
Last time I caught a glimpse of him, I think I seen him and Spooky Juice getting off of the bus going to Walmart. And they was drunk and talking crazy, so I just left them alone.
According to Milton, Andre was with his uncle Tyrone, also known as Spooky Juice. Detectives would later discover that Milton is leaving out a key piece of this story.
Spooky Juice.
Did you guys ever lend each other money or anything like that? Would you guys ever help each other out in that way?
Oh, yeah. I loaned him some money once.
You loaned him some money?
Yeah.
Did he ever pay you back?
It took a while, but he paid me back. He paid me money.
Did he ever loan you money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you pay him back?
Yeah.
When was the last time that he loaned you money?
That was a long time ago.
For detectives, Milton's story seems shifty, and with an eyewitness account of his whereabouts, things aren't looking good for him. Even so, they give him an opportunity to establish an alibi.
Just yesterday when you were at Village Inn, do you ever check in or talk to like the people at the desk or anything? Do they know you there? I guess.
Oh yeah, they know me real good.
Yeah, if you stayed there several times,
Yeah.
it sounded like. Did you talk to the desk person or anything yesterday?
No.
No. And the reason I'm asking is because I want you to be honest with me today. Okay.
I am I talk to nobody.
We're not quite there yet, but I think we can be. Okay. I know you had a decent relationship with Andre. Okay, and I know that you guys had some kind of interaction yesterday at some point, and that's what I want to talk to you about.
No, we didn't.
Okay. And it's not a coincidence that we're trying to look for you. It's not there's obviously I'm not gonna go into these things. I have some information already. Okay, I'm prepared. I kind of know what happened before I talk to the next person and the next person, and you're kind of just another piece in the puzzle. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
And so I need to know what happened between you and Andre yesterday because there was some kind of interaction, and you're the only one that can tell me that.
There was no interaction between me. I promise you that. I'm just as sure as you sitting right there and I'm sitting here. I never seen Andre yesterday.
It's not
This
true.
nigga is cap. He just, bruh. This nigga's going to jail.
What you mean it ain't true?
And it's not true because we have people that just saw you there.
Ain't nobody seen me there.
Yes. Isn't it true that he loaned you just a couple bucks and you owed him a few bucks?
No.
No?
After detectives put on the pressure and ask Milton about money, the detail he left out about the bus stop interaction surfaces.
If anything, he probably said that I owe him because I stayed over there. He would want some money from that.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh. What do you want from you?
He just wanted me. I don't know what he wanted.
Did he tell you what he wanted?
No, he just said, "Where's my money at?"
When did he tell you that?
The day that we I seen him getting off the bus with Spooky Juice.
Okay, about a month ago.
Yeah.
He wanted.
Bruh, this nigga named Tyrone and his nickname Spooky Juice. What the fuck, bruh?
Money from you staying there?
Well, I don't know what he wanted it for.
That's kind
But
of
yeah.
question anyway. Like he felt that you owed him because he was nice enough just to let you. When you thought he was doing it out the kindness of your
Well,
heart.
at the time, he said I could stay over there. I don't have to pay him nothing because I did have money then. And I said, "Let me pay you, man." "No, man, you just keep your money. You just keep your money."
Okay.
And then after he let that other lady stay in there a couple times, I don't know what they talked about, but anyway, one day he came over. I seen him downtown. He said, "Where my money at?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Wait a minute, you said I didn't have to give you nothing when I had some money.
Right.
Now you wanna embezzle me or something?"
I wouldn't understand because he was pissed off. He put it in his mind that you owed him money. Just like you just said. Okay, that makes sense to me. That's something that makes sense to me. Okay? Like he's playing a game with you, it almost sounds like. Oh, you're cool, bro. Like you don't owe me any money. And then last time you see him, he thinks you owe him. And you're like, what's up? It's either one or the other. For me, that would piss me off because
Well, it didn't piss me off. All I did was just walk away.
you want someone to be straight with you and you think he's a friend, but then all of a sudden you want something from him when you said, "Oh, I don't need you. It's cool," or whatever. Okay. Now, I think that there might be something to that. I think that maybe he was still pissed off at you. I think that maybe when you talked to him yesterday.
I didn't talk to him yesterday.
You did, Milton.
Call Village Inn.
Okay.
Call Village Inn.
Well, I can call Village Inn, but if you're in your bed all day, what are they going to say? I'm not pulling Lord of eyes. I'm not lying to you, okay?
You're lying to me.
No, I'm not.
You lying to me?
It's interesting to note that his concern is not how he's coming across, but more about the fact that he's being accused of a terrible crime. This type of reaction would be more consistent with a person who isn't guilty.
I wasn't there, lady.
Okay.
Can you get that?
No, I can't, because that's not the truth.
Why not? What are you telling me then? Now I'm a
I don't know. I feel like it's wrong for her to be saying it's not the truth. She don't know yet. Cause Shorty could still, you know what I'm saying, be in the mix. Still be in the mix. I'm thinking with the title being like this and shit, he was staying there. He started giving Shorty some dick. She was like, damn, I want to leave with this nigga. This nigga ain't. But I don't know.
liar.
I don't know.
To my face.
Right now, you are. Where to have you identified?
Who?
You are identified as being at the house yesterday. What were you wearing yesterday? Do you remember?
What I got on now.
Same exact stuff?
Yes.
Okay, same shoes, everything?
Yep.
At this point, Milton's clothes are key for investigators. And today, as seen here, before his interview started, Milton arrived wearing a dark coat, just as Helen had described.
Right.
They were talking to first and it escalated. Okay, so he said, well, you owe me $8, okay? Okay, then he left with my girl's coat, okay?
To keep Milton talking, detectives switch up their approach. Instead of confrontational questions and statements, they try questions that hint his actions may be justified.
What was his frame of mind?
I don't know. What
was he coming at you aggressive?
What?
But do you think you owed him money still? Was he pissed off about that? That's relevant to me. That was something that I can work with.
I'm not going to tell you something I don't know.
You think that we just magically pulled your name out of a hat?
I don't know. I don't think so, but you probably got my fingerprints or somewhere over there, or like she said, somebody said that I was there, but didn't nobody see me there. Not physically.
Nigga, how the fuck you think they got your name in?
We're not going to come in here and just throw this stuff around if we don't have proof of it.
You got my fingerprints from a long time ago.
We have proof. Well, I can tell you right now, we don't have any fingerprints yet. I'll give you that clue. We don't have one. We didn't get it from fingerprints. But let me ask you this, Milton. So do you walk around during the day sometimes, like especially in the summer? Do you walk around outside a fair amount of time?
Yeah.
Okay. Occasionally you might go through a residential neighborhood where there's houses?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you notice those cameras are popping up a lot more on houses. Have you noticed that?
Not really. I ain't paid that much attention to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I can tell you as a detective that is very, very helpful to us.
But I know.
I mean, that's one of the best things to come along besides DNA.
Yeah, I know some people got security like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that we get videotape right away. Mm-hmm. It's there. It's right there.
The detectives are beginning an interrogation tactic known as planting seeds of doubt. If someone is guilty and they hear that there is other...
See, look, I take this same tactic right here, but I plant seeds, not a doubt. I do be planting seeds though. You know what I'm saying? When that's how you get to that cootie cat, I be like, yo, Shawty, you know what I'm saying? You just look so good today. Like, or you hit her with that long-term game. You know what I'm saying? You see some shit she posted like 48 weeks ago? Nigga, you're in there. You're like, damn, like, I don't know. I just been listening to a lot of fucking Brent Fayez lately. She's like, oh my God, you listen to Brent Fayez? Hell yeah, shawty. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We listen to Care. All that shit.
For evidence they may not have considered. This tactic will make them extremely nervous. But on the other hand, if someone is innocent, they'll feel confident that there's no evidence that can implicate them. However, these detectives' execution of the tactic is a bit sloppy. as it should be delivered with more unwavering confidence.
We don't have to wait for fingerprints to come back and DNA to come back.
Police all but say it. They have video footage of Milton on the day of the murder, and they didn't know it yet, but such video footage would become the foundation of their entire case. In the meantime, Milton's already limited patience is wearing ever thinner.
Here's what I want you to think about, Milton.
I'm not thinking about Jack.
You saying that you're not even there.
Oh,
It
shit.
makes us
This
feel
nigga
like,
about to
what the
crash
hell's
out.
going on there?
Yeah, you tell me what the hell's going
I thought
on.
we could just have a conversation. Yeah, I was there and then I
Yeah,
started
don't try to put
left.
that psychological stuff
I'm
on
not
me.
trying to.
Arrest me or let me go. You got 72 hours.
You're talking TV talk, right? Too much TV talk.
No, that ain't TV talk.
It is TV talk. Okay.
The 72 hours Milton is referring to is related to the U.S. constitutional right to a speedy trial, which includes filing charges after an arrest within a reasonable amount of time. But the Constitution doesn't spell out what reasonable means, so it's up to the states to decide how long police can hold someone in jail without charges. Often charges are filed within 72 hours of arrest, but there's no hard and fast rule. While the detective clearly thinks that Milton's misunderstanding is funny, this is a very poor way to maintain rapport, and laughing at him and mocking him will only damage it further.
I'm
They
saying
aren't
gonna make
following
this nigga
normal
crash
interview
out, bro.
procedures and haven't done much to develop
He
rapport
gonna
with
jump
him
across the
before this
table like that
point either.
nigga, like that
The
nigga in goddamn
detectives back
Vegas.
off, shifting their focus to Milton's version of events that day, hoping he'll drop some new details they can use. And he does exactly that.
Not even my girl. We broke up New Year's Eve, so that's why I didn't
This
know.
year?
Yeah.
So just 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Huh?
Who's your girl? Well, your ex-girl.
Ex-girl. Well, she's no longer talk about it. That's something else. She don't know nothing about Dre or nothing like that.
No, what's her name?
You don't even know her name. She's innocent. She ain't got nothing to do with this.
Yep, his ass is done. You see how he said she ain't got nothing to do with that. She's innocent. So he's implicating that he's not, subconsciously.
Red flags go up when Milton
Nigga, I need to be a
refuses to
fucking
share the
psychiatrist.
name of his recent ex-girlfriend.
Or
Could she have incriminating information about
one of them
Milton that
niggas.
he's not keen on sharing?
I asked you earlier if this girl that you broke, or this girl that you had just 2
And I
days
said
ago.
she don't know nothing about my personal business.
And I said, how do you know that? Because it's your personal business between you and Andre, whatever happened to Andre.
No,
That's exactly what you said.
that ain't what I said.
It most certainly is.
Man, you trying to put words in my mouth. You know what this.
I am not. Milton, this is recorded. We can watch all this back.
You're getting me frustrated now.
Why?
I've been trying to be nice to you. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you
Explain
getting
all this.
frustrated?
Because you up here trying to put words in my mouth and try to make me look like
Yes,
I
sir.
did something
Yes,
great.
sir.
Milton is clearly flustered and frustrated. He's doing his best to stick to his story as the detectives continually try to confuse him and poke holes in it.
I ain't do nothing to Drake. I love Drake. You understand that? I would never do nothing to Drake. Physically or mentally. Because me and him knew each other. We understood each other. Yeah, we talked.
Man, fuck that mean, nigga. Bruh, spouses kill their spouses. And they be married damn near, goddamn, they'll be married 15 years. They'll be married 20 years, 40 years. That don't mean shit, bruh. Don't mean shit.
about each other like that. But that's all. You ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, we talk like that. But we squash that shit.
Milton's frustration reaches a new level, giving way to some strange behavior.
I ain't gonna never take nobody's life. For nothing. Not a penny, not a dime, not a different woman, nothing. And I got skills to do that.
Yep, his ass is done.
But I don't go around doing that.
You got skills to take people's life?
Yeah,
What kind of skills you got to take people's life?
I got special skills.
What are those special skills?
The fuck is that?
I know it only takes 60 pounds of pressure to break a bone. Yeah, I got all kind of knowledge about doing that. I don't do that. I'm 68 years.
Bruh, this nigga's a weekend warrior. He go to the bar trying to pick a fight and shit. You ever seen that video of that the Muay Thai nigga knocking out that bar drunk? Bruh, that shit was hilarious.
Years old. I ain't got time to go around here trying to prove myself to nobody. But I ain't gonna let nobody push me.
I would hope that you wouldn't prove yourself.
Right. I don't walk around here all tough with my chest all blowed out, my head blowed up. I ain't out here to hurt nobody. I'm just out here to survive.
Did you ever carry any weapons for self-defense? Pocket knife?
No.
Nothing?
No.
No, never have in the past?
No.
Any kind of guns?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you carry?
It's loaded now.
What are you talking about?
My mind is loaded, full of bullets.
I'm talking about a gun.
I'm talking about knowledge. I'm talking about power.
You ever carried a real gun?
No. Yeah, I'm done too. Y'all gonna buy me dinner or something?
Milton's unusual comments don't do him any favors with police, and neither do his comments when they leave the room.
Boy, may you rest in peace, Andre. Man, come on. I'm hungry. We can throw this out. Man, come on with this dummy. Hey, do something. Go fuck with me. You gotta find out what you know. You fucking on that. I'll see that. There's nothing to worry about. You got me and I ain't do a thing. Y'all working yourself up to nothing. Think you want to me please. You put me in any way you put me there. So you falsified information. That's what you do. Planting information. You know, I can't plant.
Bro, what the fuck is this nigga talking about?
I don't think y'all gonna build a case on this. Y'all just trying to solve it on the side. But you say y'all ain't solving it with me. I ain't the one. I don't mind. I'm trying to put me somewhere where I wasn't even at. Somebody, yeah, I knew you were there. Please. You don't know Jackson. You can't prove nothing. You just think we be dependent on a homeless man. You crazy. $25 million lawsuit. No. $125 million. I'm gonna sue this guy too much. Somebody come back here. Y'all getting me pissed off now. This is embarrassing me like this.
Despite his protests, Milton is placed in custody, and his clothes are taken as evidence.
Hope your kids die from thirst.
Police let Helen know as soon as they've made an arrest, and she's instantly relieved to hear of his apprehension. With Helen's eyewitness testimony, the detectives are confident they've got their man. but they want their case to be bulletproof, so they don't stop there. While the detectives do find a record of Milton staying at the Village Inn on the day of the murder, no one can account for his whereabouts. According to cleaning staff, they don't recall actually seeing him that morning, despite having cleaned his room sometime between 9:30 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. Authorities also get a lucky break when they chat with a few acquaintances of Milton's. According to police reports, one friend reported that when she saw Milton on the day of the crime, he seemed off. She recalls that he wasn't his usual happy-go-lucky self. Another acquaintance revealed that at one point Milton had a long-term girlfriend named Sandy, and police immediately suspect this is the mysterious ex-girlfriend. Once they track her down, they ask Sandy to map out her history with Milton. And when Sandy arrives at the station, her adrenaline and anxiety are surging. Police allow her daughter to join them in hopes of keeping her calm and getting as much information as possible.
What was the first thing you felt when they came? I saw them. I said, oh my God. Like, what did you feel? I was on my way. You can't breathe too fast. Look. No, like this.
Sandy's nerves are on edge as she struggles to come to grips with the idea that Milton may be
tight as
involved
hell,
in a terrible crime.
Look, watch me.
After Sandy's daughter gives the detectives the room, police ease into their interview with a few background questions.
How did you meet Malcolm? Oh, at a church?
Soon, Sandy volunteers that their relationship recently ended. Unlike Milton, however, she's forthcoming with the reasons why. After 10 years, Sandy felt their connection was dwindling. She didn't see Milton as often as she liked, and she suspected that he was shielding her from the realities of his life.
Yeah, nigga broke.
Why you never bring me down in your face? He said, because it's my business, and you don't even know my business. I said, okay. And nobody didn't tell you about what was really going on. He didn't tell me nothing.
But in spite of everything, Sandy said she and Milton were usually able to work out their differences, and violent behavior seemed beyond his capacities.
He was a good guy. That's why I'm so still in shock. Like my nose. He never done nothing like this in 2 years.
When police spoke with Anita, Sandy's daughter, she echoed the same sentiments.
Did you ever see him get really angry or violent ever in the past?
No. He's a father figure to me. Okay. Even though not biologically, right. He was like my father, so he played that role really well. Okay.
And Anita admits things have been different recently.
But since he lost his apartment, everything changed.
Detectives begin requesting CCTV footage from the locations Milton shared with them, including the Cash Saver store and the pizza restaurant. In the meantime, detectives meet with Helen, Andre's girlfriend, again to make sure they don't miss any useful details about Andre's last hours. And as it turns out, Helen had forgotten a few things in her first account, like Andre running to the store for a 6-pack of beer, and a second visitor to their home that day.
And we went to the store. He did? Yes. Okay. Store.
You didn't go?
No, I went later, him and I, to Family Dollar. Okay. And then came back.
What store did he go to?
He went to the Quick Trip.
Okay. He just walked there, or how did he get there?
He walked.
Okay.
Knowing that Andre walked to the Quick Trip down the street is a win for detectives. There are several local businesses surrounding the gas station, so CCTV footage may help them establish a clear timeline in their case against Milton. But as the days pass, the likelihood of that footage being erased only grows, so the detectives must act fast. And in the chaos of that morning, Helen also forgot to mention what happened when Andre came back from the store. While she was in another room preparing for the festivities, there was an earlier knock at their front door, and it wasn't Milton. Helen tells police that Andre answers the door and heads upstairs with another man. After a while, Andre comes to the kitchen to grab a drink, but something wasn't quite right.
Yeah, I asked him who was it. That's what I asked him. But he didn't tell me, so it's just a friend. He got another beer. And then a kiss. Yes. And then somebody knocked at the door.
Once again, Helen recalls the event she heard in the next room just before discovering Andre unconscious. But this time, She shares two critical new details.
I heard like the door close, but I heard something like a loud noise, like a thump or something like that. But I heard, now that I think that the back is like, I heard the door close twice, like right behind each other, like it open, close, open, and close again, so I don't know if there's a person that came downstairs as well that was up there with them. I'm not sure. And then I said, Andre, man, on the floor. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I called Mom. I said, Mom, Andre is laying right here because I hadn't seen anything. He had his jacket on. He stopped shouting up. I said, Mother, what should I do? She said, oh, you need to call 911. And I know I should have anyway. And stuff like that. I called my mother instead. And then I hung up the phone. And then I called 911.
Helen's behavior has changed noticeably. Previously, she was more animated. However, now her nonverbal behavior is scarce. The information that slipped Helen's mind during the first interview is essential. The mystery visitor and the timing of his exit mean police may have another witness, or even an accomplice. Helen's phone call to her mother, Evelyn, could also provide new insights, so authorities make a note to reach out to her. It's possible that Evelyn remembers details that Helen doesn't, like a comment or a background noise.
So a few things have changed since we last spoke.
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't you tell us about this person?
Because I wasn't thinking at the time.
While Helen's omissions seem odd at first glance, her trouble recalling details may be in part due to the trauma she experienced.
You know what I'm saying?
It's also possible that the event briefly slipped her mind, as she was likely focused on Andre's prognosis during the last interview. As detectives continue building their case, they request cell phone records for the 3 phones kept in the house: Andre's, Helen's, and another phone belonging to Andre's niece. Authorities also turn to DNA in hopes of sealing Milton's fate. At this point, several kitchen knives found at the scene are undergoing processing at a lab. Perhaps one of them could be the murder weapon. When reviewing crime scene photos, detectives note a strange lack of blood in the home. Except for a few spots here and there isn't much to be found. Considering how much blood was on Andre's clothes, authorities find this detail surprising. Helen willingly provides detectives with a DNA sample to help rule her out. DNA is also collected from Andre's body, and samples are obtained from Milton as he awaits his fate in jail. Police know Helen spoke to her mother, Evelyn, briefly before calling 911, but they've been unable to reach her.
Would your mom answer your phone if you called her right now?
Yes.
Would she be willing to talk to Detective Garcia?
Yes, she will.
Once Evelyn is on the phone, however, her story leaves authorities more puzzled than ever.
We wanted to talk to you because you were on the phone with your daughter, Helen, around the time that this happened. Isn't that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would like you to tell me in your own words your recollection of what you overheard or what was going on or what Helen was telling you about what was going on.
Okay, look, I'm trying to regroup back then, yeah. Something was going on. I think it seemed like from my observation in the background, I think Helen was cooking or something. And it seemed like someone came to the house or something. I can't really get it together, but I think somebody had came by there or something.
Before you hung up on your conversation, did she tell you that Andre was hurt at all? Did she mention anything like that?
That he was hurt something. She said something. Oh my God, something. She said something was going on. And so, and then I told her to call 911. Yes, ma'am.
It seems odd that Helen wouldn't have provided any details to her mother. Even if Helen didn't yet see Andre's blood-soaked clothes, she saw him lying in the doorway, not breathing or moving. The detectives aren't sure why Evelyn's answers are so vague. Perhaps she can't remember or she doesn't understand the questions. Or maybe she's intentionally leaving out information.
Well, you wouldn't tell her to call 911 unless you knew something serious. So what did she actually tell you? Not just something. What did she tell you?
As far as like, when she got hurt or something like that or something happened.
So you didn't she didn't tell you anything was wrong other than he might be hurt. That's all most you knew. Not that he just maybe stubbed his toe or anything. It could have been. I mean, how did you know it was serious enough to call 911? Confused.
He might be hurt. He might be hurt. Something was wrong. And I think he said he heard a thump or something like that. Or heard a bump or something like that. Like a bump or something. And so, anyways, the person, whoever the person he was involved with, they must have ran or whatever. I don't know now.
And you're her confidant, you're her best friend, as she calls it, so you would know she would be the one to tell you what happened that day. And that's why I'm calling you, but I feel like I'm not getting any kind of detail.
Detectives go in circles with Evelyn for several more minutes before calling it quits. Even though their conversation with Evelyn doesn't reveal any new information directly, they have a strange feeling about the way questions were answered. Evelyn's cluster of behaviors seemingly point toward deception. She frequently uses filler words in her responses like as well as unsure language like I don't know and I think.
Whoever the person he was involved with, they must have ran or whatever. I don't know now. I think someone was cooking or something. But I think somebody had came by there or something.
She also seems to stall as she answers, perhaps buying time to think of what to say next. Sensing something is amiss, authorities walk Helen back through the day of Andre's death in case any new information surfaces. And as they've come to expect, there are indeed more details to be found.
When you heard the knock on the door the second time,
Yes.
did you hear a voice at that time?
Yes, I did.
Whose voice was it?
They sound like Milton to me.
Did you ever see Milton with your own eyes?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
How were you able to provide a description of his clothing?
Right. What the fuck?
That's because I saw a coat. I didn't see his face or nothing, but I saw his coat.
She was like, she saw his coat, his jeans, and the shoes.
Yeah, because it was right by the door.
I'm confused.
Helen cups her head in her hands nervously as she explains her rationale. This is generally a self-soothing action. Pressure or rubbing will help soothe the anxiety.
Okay, I said this motion. I just felt like it was motion.
How sure?
I really didn't see.
How sure are you that was Roman's voice? 50-50?
Yes, something, yes.
50-50, 75-25, 100%?
50, sound like him.
Sound like him.
Yes.
And the coat looked like the coat that you'd seen him in previously?
Yes.
Helen's response here is increasingly unclear. Instead of providing firm yes or no responses, she seems to agree with whatever answer the detective offers. By now, authorities know that something important is missing from Helen's story. But what they can't know is that this is just the beginning of a truly bizarre and complicated story.
You're leaving a lot of stuff out. Okay? You make a lot of assumptions. There are holes all over that story. All over it. We need to stop. We need to hit the reset button. We need to start over. Who is this guy upstairs?
I'm not sure.
Is there really a person upstairs?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, it was. Yes, sir. Yes, it was. Well, yeah,
Did you hear the door shut?
Yeah.
Did the door shut?
Yes, I did.
I mean, back to back.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So he was there. This guy saw it.
Helen's hands are often not visible as she's using the table as a barrier between herself and the detectives. Using a barrier, such as the table, allows an individual to keep distance between themselves and the investigators, regardless of actual physical distance.
Right?
I'm not sure.
Because what you're telling us, I don't believe it for a second. Maybe parts of it, but not very much of it.
What happened?
Him and the guy, just the other guy, but he's got a big family and stuff, so I'm not sure. Just.
You need to be honest. This is your life. This is your life, and it's not looking good for you right now. You're looking guilty of something right now. I'm telling you, that's how it looks. That's how it's looking right now. But here's the deal, Helen. What else are we supposed to think when you're giving us the story that doesn't even make sense? We're trying to give you the heads up. What do you think a jury's going to think?
There's blood in the kitchen. He hits the floor. You're in the kitchen.
Yes.
Where do we think that blood came from? Must be from you.
Well, they didn't do anything to me.
Okay.
Tell us the truth.
I'm telling you.
Truth will set you free. Tell us the truth.
I'm telling you, I did not do anything to her.
Who is this person you're worried about? Who are you protecting? You've got to be honest, Helen.
She getting that dick. She getting that dick. Her, and it must be one of his friends. And old buddy probably ain't want to tell old buddy, and she ain't want to tell her nigga. So she ick. Oh, what's that? But
This is your life.
she's done.
This is very important. Don't you think it's important that the right person gets charged for this?
Yes,
Do you think that's important?
yes, I do.
You're not acting like it's important right now. So you need to do something to prove that that's important to you.
Helen sits back in her chair as the detective brings up a jury trial. She physically distances herself from the idea that she might face one if she keeps changing her story. After a long pause, Helen finally admits that the man upstairs wasn't a mystery after all, despite her previous story.
But they have such a big family and stuff. So what's gonna happen?
We're not even close.
What about? Tell me about Kenny. Who is he?
The big family's just vicious.
This is a safe place to tell this story.
Helen fears for her safety as she opens up about the second visitor at her home. She claims Kenny's family allegedly has ties in local crime.
Was Kenny still there? Did Kenny kill Andre? You need to be honest. Did he kill Andre?
Because I saw it.
With hesitation, Helen explains to police that Kenny was the only one at the house that day. And while the rest of her story was true, the fight that took place was only between Kenny and Andre, not Milton. In fact, he
So that nigga about to get paid. He wasn't wrong.
wasn't even there that day. He had been telling the truth all along. Police have the wrong man in jail for Andre's murder.
God damn.
What's your recollection?
Because he's like, he stole one of them, he stole phone when he came downstairs.
Kenny said that to Andre?
No, Andre said it to him.
Andre said that Kenny stole.
Yeah, because he had it laying out, I guess, upstairs. And he's like, man, you know I wouldn't do you. So, man, yes, you did. Yeah, yes. But it really escalated, it really did. And stuff, and they're just nuts. But, I mean,
How did it escalate?
Because he was like, man, you're not going to treat me like a pussy. I'm not a, I'm not a pussy. He said, so what you want to do about it? He said, I stole something, so man, if you feel like I stole something, then, hey, work it out. And Andre came downstairs. And Kenny came downstairs as well. Okay. And Andre came in there. He came in the kitchen.
Okay.
And he got a knife, but Kenny got it from him. Snatched the knife from him, stabbed him. Threw the knife in the sink.
A sink that was conveniently full of dishwater.
Oh God, that shit look clean as hell.
Because I'm scared of him, because he have a very big family, a very violent.
What are you scared of? What are you going to do to you?
They would kill me. They would. They've done it to people.
Is that why you didn't tell us that, Jay?
Yes, ma'am. They haven't gotten away with it.
Helen's story is starting to make sense to detectives, but her changing storyline means she's no longer a credible witness. An accurate account of the facts is more critical than ever, so they ask Helen to take a polygraph test to bring a little peace of mind, and she's happy to cooperate. Even though polygraphs aren't always admissible in court, they can be under certain circumstances. Often asking someone to take a polygraph is an interrogation tactic itself, as it gives the police a chance to observe how people react to the suggestion and see how willing they are to cooperate. In the meantime, They remove all doubts about Milton's involvement.
Milton was not there at the house that day. Milton has nothing to do with Andre's death. Yes or no? Why did you forget with Milton? Because I just want to understand. If I don't. Do you hate Milton?
I dislike him. Because he's very disrespectful.
Helen reveals that Milton is nothing more than an unlucky scapegoat, named as a suspect because she just doesn't like him. Or at least that's the reason she'll admit to right now.
If you had been honest with me, we'd have a much stronger case, but now your credibility is. We got to get Milton out of jail. Yeah.
To help them narrow down their new search, authorities ask Helen to review a lineup and point Kenny out to them. But when it comes time to confirm Kenny's identity, Helen's apprehension causes her to waver.
No, kind of more Kenny. You already identified him by name. I'm sensing some reluctance right now for you to identify something by photo. Am I accurate on that?
Those two photo lineups that you were shown, did you see them? Did you see them? That one.
You're lying. I can see it. You're lying. Just it's okay to be scared. It's not okay to mess with people's lives, and this investigation has done enough harm right now, to be honest. This is your time to do what's right. For Andre. Do you give a shit about Andre?
Yes. But I live my life too.
Helen asks to see the photos again, and she begrudgingly points to two individuals in the photo lineups. But it's clear that her goal is only to move past the question. For now, her strategy works.
I want to see the hell of him.
Which one?
Him and him.
Him or him? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Before ending their meeting with Helen, detectives offer her one last opportunity to share any information that might be helpful. And it's a good thing they do.
I want you to get checked off shoulders right now. What else is there to tell us about what happened next time?
Has anyone contacted you afterwards telling you to shut your mouth? Yes. Who?
It's interesting to note how she's rocking back and forth now. A lot of people do this when they're anxious, and Helen has to know she's not looking good at this point. She's also hiding quite a bit behind the table.
Did they come to the house? What'd you see them at?
At the store, and they just let me zip like in my pocket. And they left the note and hide it down in my pocket when I was at the store. I mean, those pickpocketers.
What's the note say?
It's like, if you want to live, you won't talk.
Just so I know.
Yeah, that's straight up.
What
Armed
the
with plenty
fuck
of new
is she talking
information,
about?
detectives let Helen go and get started tracking down their new suspect. The same day, authorities work to get Milton released from jail, and the detectives ask him to stop by one last time. After police promise him exoneration, they chat for a few minutes about Andre and Helen. In alignment with what Helen shared with police previously, Milton explains that Tyrone, also called Spooky Juice, reconnected her with Andre, but Tyrone and Helen had an unusual history.
She used to live with Spooky Juice until she set his apartment on fire. That's how he became homeless.
Motherfucking Spooky Juice.
They were just friends. Well, he had some kind of fantasy about it.
Motherfucking Spooky Juice, man. I forgot about Spooky Juice. Damn. Oh, now they want to laugh and shit.
While Milton never specifies if the alleged fire was intentional or accidental, the circumstances certainly seem odd to detectives. Milton, who spent 17 days in jail, was fully exonerated. A few days later, Helen arrives at the department for her polygraph examination, and according to the police officer who conducted it, she apparently failed remarkably.
Damn.
Polygraphs are generally not admissible in court because their accuracy can't be guaranteed. But in combination with Helen's history of ever-changing stories, her indication of deception is noteworthy to detectives. When Helen is confronted with her results, her story changes yet again.
Oh my goodness.
And it's soon that this entire case is flipped on its head. Though the polygraph can rarely be used in court, it really is a psychological sledgehammer in interrogations when the examiner tells someone they're deceptive. Different states do it differently, but usually the examiner will tell the person they passed or failed. The initial reaction from the person is huge. If you call an innocent person deceptive, they'll come unglued. If they sit quietly, this helps confirm the charts.
Honest. You have to be honest and you have to face it. Whatever it is, you have to face it. No more lies. You keep lying, like you're doing now, you eat you alive.
After weighing her options, Helen shares another brand new version of events on the day of Andre's murder. The question is this finally the truth? This time, she makes the allegation that Andre may have been associated with a street gang referred to as the Vice Lords, which has roots in Chicago beginning in the 90s.
Hold up. What the fuck these niggas look like? Oh, so these niggas actually is black. These niggas Hispanic.
$1950s.
Well, I did go to the store. To a picture. And when his buddies came back, they just had it. So not Chicago. Not Keegan? Chicago. Andre owed him some money, but he knocked on the door and he came in.
Over time, Helen's stories become more and more elaborate. What began as a small, unpaid debt with Milton evolved into allegedly stolen drugs with Kenny, and now a money battle with a kingpin from Chicago. While Helen says she didn't know Mark, his reputation preceded him. For now, detectives play along.
When Andre showed up, what happened? What you've seen here. Be specific.
As part of the Reed technique, detectives don't often allow the suspect to get entrenched in their lies, and often interrupt them so they don't get too comfortable repeating them. Here, however, it seems like detectives are playing along with her and letting her put the final nail in her coffin, so to speak. Every story she tells will be played to the jury someday, and if she changes her story again in court, the prosecutor will have to ask her, which story do you want the jury to believe?
Yeah, so what's something like, so, what's something like, and so, and then, no, I know you, right? He said, yeah. He said, it's there. And then the man said, I didn't have, all of it. And so he said, what's your name? He said, I said, he said, what will happen because when I trusted you and things, because I went upstairs and got whatever he had. And stuff. You went upstairs to get money? Yeah, the stuff, the rest of the stuff. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then I guess again, whatever he had as far as the money, which was only like $50, and I should have done like way more. And, he didn't like that. He didn't like that. I know.
Helen goes on to describe a story similar to her past two versions. The two men began arguing and it escalated to violence after Andre grabbed a knife from the kitchen.
So I feel like, you know how they say it? They be like, yo, when somebody tell the lie, when somebody tell lies, They just be half truths. You feel me? Like I feel like she's telling the truth in small little increments in each of these stories. But most of that shit bullshit.
Police are left with many of the same questions, and they're at the end of their rope.
Is this the fourth different person we're saying now?
Yeah.
Fourth different person. Milton. Kenny, unknown last name. Now it's Mark Keegan. That's 4. So I got to tell you, I don't believe you. I don't believe hardly one bit of that story.
So far, Helen's stories of crime families, betrayal, and murder over small sums of money are proving to be nothing more than fantasies, leaving detectives to wonder what truths are being concealed. Helen has turned away from detectives, using her hand to hide part of her face. True to form, she changes her story as soon as police confront her about the absurdity of her stories. Now she tells authorities that Mark wasn't a stranger after all, and she may have had something to do with his sudden appearance. Open-ended questions are a must in this case. These types of questions keep from shutting down the conversation and keep information flowing. They need to get her talking and let her keep telling her story.
I shouldn't have let him in.
How did you know him?
I used to live in Chicago. I called Mark over there because Andre was up in my face.
Bro, what the fuck is she talking about?
And so, I'm because of it. It's my fault.
Why'd you call Mark?
Oh my goodness.
I
couldn't even talk to her no more.
Tell me about that. What was he doing?
Calling me these and telling me going on with baby. He had some company coming over. I told him I wasn't wanting.
Finally, the detectives call out the latest in a long line of fantasies Helen is using to escape reality.
You're caught up in this world that doesn't really exist. Enough is enough, okay? Enough is enough.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
We're not going to keep chasing our tail. We can prove
Yeah,
it all right.
No, it's not.
We proved it all wrong. All of it. Proved it all wrong. And now we got to go chase down a Mark Keegan? Is this another guy that's wronged you in the past that you're pissed at?
No.
It's notable how different Helen's behavior is when compared to that of Milton. Helen's words are repetitive and her no was very passive, while Milton was clearly quite angry. Her lack of irritation and calm demeanor are unusual behavior if she was truly an innocent bystander.
Is this the fourth different person we're saying now?
No, somebody else lied to you.
That's why I to go over this.
Somebody else is lying to you. I was not there.
Police will also have noted by now that her constant expansion of the suspect list is a big red flag. Guilty people often want the police going in as many directions as possible to keep the attention off of themselves. Every time police talk to Helen, she adds a new suspect to their list.
Like Kenny and like Milton Leak?
No. Yes, sir.
So when we go searching down Mark Keegan and we can prove that he wasn't here at that time, what's your story going to be then? We're done. We're done. So I would rather get right down to the truth.
Authorities now know there was a fight between Andre and Helen that morning, but they don't know why, at least not yet. And when they find out, it's even more bizarre than they could have ever expected.
Why were you pissed at him?
I wasn't pissed at him.
No?
I was doing the drugs. Yes, I was upset.
Okay, that's also a lie. That's also a lie.
No, it's
he was not doing drugs.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was. Well, either that or he was.
We got the test back, Helen. No drugs. Nothing. Alcohol in the system, that's it.
Helen forgot to consider that police would likely run a toxicology screen due to the nature of Andre's death, and the results highlight what police already suspected, that Helen's latest story is just another elaborate lie.
You haven't been completely honest about how volatile your guys' relationship is. We've looked in the past. We've talked to neighbors. It happens a hell of a lot more than when we go out there. Was this a relationship of convenience? You had your place to stay. Andre wasn't so bad when he wasn't drinking. Is that what this was?
Yes.
That's why you stayed there with him?
Yes.
Okay. Helen, you took a knife from that drawer or on that counter and you stabbed him.
No, I didn't.
You did stab him.
No, I did not.
You did. And you know how I know that? Because every single story you've told us is a lie. The only person you haven't told us it was is you. And you were the only one there with him.
No.
Police also find fault with Helen's claims that Andre grabbed a knife from the kitchen. When Andre passed away at the hospital, his property was collected and sent to the police lab for processing. Police found that a kitchen knife had still been in Andre's pocket when he arrived at the hospital, a knife that wasn't the murder weapon. Carrying an open-blade kitchen knife in any pocket is dangerous, a risk Andre may have been willing to take if he felt he might need it for self-defense.
Andre already had a knife on. He didn't have to go get a knife. Did he?
Hold on. Bro, what, bro? Bro, who the fuck just carries around a fucking kitchen knife?
I'm not sure.
At this point, Helen is under a microscope. Her stories have fallen apart time and time again, and now police are left to piece together what happened from outside sources. As CCTV footage starts to trickle in, detectives catch a lucky break when reviewing the quick trip footage. Close to 12 p.m. on the day of his murder, Andre is seen interacting with 3 different people outside of the gas station, as well as a nearby laundromat. Of interest are 2 men and 1 woman. Police were soon able to identify the mysterious people who spoke with Andre near the quick trip. While they were able to rule out 1 man who spoke to Andre but didn't really know him, the other pair would prove integral, and what they had to say would turn the entire investigation upside down. This is Riley Farrell.
Can you just tell me from your own recollection right now what you remember about that day?
Yeah, I was just going to quick trip with my friend to go get pizza.
What friend?
My friend Jess. I just met her that day.
Okay.
But we walked from a buddy's house, and then the guy kept trying to talk to this girl, and this girl didn't know who he was.
What? Just Jess, you mean?
Yeah, and we were just walking in the same direction, and he was saying he might have to go kick somebody out of his house or something like that. And I was like, "What? Do you need any help or anything?" He's like, "No."
Did he say anything more about that?
A girl.
The woman Andre wanted to kick out was Helen. Far from getting married like Helen had told detectives, he was breaking up with her and trying to get her to leave. Perhaps this is why Andre felt safer carrying a knife that day. With no expectations of getting the truth from Helen, police reach out to Andre's sister Deborah for help, and what she told them would leave their jaws on the floor. At first, Deborah explained that Andre wanted to help Helen. He moved her out of the local shelter, bought her a cell phone, and even helped her to get to her doctor's appointments. But as Deborah recalls, their relationship wasn't all smooth sailing.
Every time they called me, it was always arguing. The police was there. He would try to put her out. She would throw the brick in his house and always accuse him of another lady or something.
It seems like the police calls to Andre's home were in fact related to Helen. According to Deborah, Andre was through with Helen, but he had to follow formal eviction procedures to get her out of the house. Perhaps that was part of his plan the day that he died. And Deborah wasn't shy about her reservations. She knew right away that something wasn't right with Helen after she explained the circumstances of her brother's murder. Deborah's skepticism of Helen wasn't at all unfounded. Andre allegedly told her that Helen had been making threats lately, as recently as a week before he died.
Yeah, she said she's gonna kill me.
If this is true, that means Helen may have actually planned Andre's murder after all. With all of this new information in mind, it's time to confront Helen about her never-ending web of lies.
How long did you talk to your mom before you called 911?
I talked to her probably about a minute.
How long was that phone call?
11 minutes.
So what's going on here, Helen?
I don't remember.
And I'm telling you, there's a lot more we haven't got to yet.
What were you doing during that time?
Are you cleaning up? No. Cleaning up what? Evidence? I don't know. No.
There's a soft upward inflection with her no, almost as if she's asking a question. It's clear she's unsure. The stab wound to Andre's upper right chest area punctured both his lung and his aorta. Andre laid bleeding to death on his floor while Helen talked with her mother on the phone for a full 11 minutes. Now that it's looking like Helen is the actual culprit behind Andre's death, detectives dive into her background. After speaking with one of Helen's aunts, police learn that she's been exhibiting strange behavior lately. Her family noticed that Helen began showing up to church recently and voicing in the prayer line that she wanted the detectives to leave her alone. But the most startling discovery comes from Edward, Helen's brother. He alleged that not only was Helen talking to her mom after Andre was stabbed, but during his stabbing. This leaves detectives with only one place to turn, to Evelyn herself. Police believe she holds the key to unraveling Helen's lies, and they soon learn that they're right. At first, Evelyn tells police she can't recall when or how she learned Andre was stabbed, but after police show her a photo of Andre, her guilt becomes too much to bear. She admits that Helen told her about the stabbing during their phone call, and even describing exactly what happened. Evelyn heard Andre's voice in the background of the call. She says that she then heard Helen's voice become angry before an eerie silence fell over the line. Soon Helen began yelling at Andre to get up. She then said that Andre was turning red, indicating that he was bleeding significantly. At this point, Evelyn said she told Helen to call 911. Now that it's time to bring in Helen to answer for Andre's death, she's gone missing. Detectives struggle to contact her, and it seems she's dodging the police. But the detectives cook up a strategy to contact her. Helen is on parole, so detectives coordinate with Helen's parole officer to catch her by surprise. During this final round of interrogation, now that all of her lies have been exposed, Helen's demeanor changes significantly. Instead of her usual submissive posture and sheepish responses, Helen sits tall, arms folded defiantly across her chest. What still isn't completely clear is why exactly Helen killed Andre, and when she finally does give an explanation, it's shocking, to say the least.
It's Mark Keegan. He doesn't exist. We've been to Chicago. We've done our work. Anybody with the description that you gave us does not exist.
That's right. Helen's supposed admirer doesn't even exist.
Your mother doesn't strike me. She strikes me as a religious woman. She strikes me as an honest woman.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And speaking to her, she obviously told us some things about the conversation that you had with her that day.
Mm-hmm.
And after she had that conversation with you, she passed that along to everyone else. And that's why we talked to all these other people here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't frankly know what to do with that information when you told her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she sent a text message to people,
Mm-hmm.
and she told people, frankly, that you had stabbed Andre. You told her that. Your mom's not a liar. She has to do the right thing, and she did. By telling us the truth.
One of these texts asks family members to pray for Helen because she'd stabbed Andre. The day after the murder, once Milton had been arrested, Evelyn fired off more texts to her family, retracting her previous announcement about Helen. Instead, she said that it was a misunderstanding and that she'd jumped to conclusions. Helen seems to demonstrate the freeze response here. She remains markedly still this entire time. She likely knows that she's caught up here and is resigned to that fact.
And we also talked to people that talked to Andre that day. He went to the Quick Trip, as you know. We know that. He went to go get some beer and such that day. Well, he actually happened to run into a couple of people that day. And they both said, independently of one another, that Andre mentioned he was fighting with you that day, arguing, having a hard time with you that day. And he actually told this guy, who he's just met that day, he was going to kick you out. What was going on between you and Andre that day?
I don't know. I blocked it out. I don't remember anything.
Bro, now she don't remember shit. That's all on the damn story,
You
bro.
really got nothing to say. out of stories, out of people to blame. Like a mom touch better. Talk to the county attorney. Okay, you're gonna get charged with murder first. I need you to stand up. I'm gonna pat you down. You don't have anything sharp on you, nothing else or anything.
By the time Helen saw her day in court, her memory dramatically improved. She now claimed self-defense. Despite Andre's lack of physical violence that day, she argued that the way he walked into the kitchen was ominous enough to justify her action. But just like the detectives, the court found that Helen lacked any credibility. Helen was convicted of murder in the second degree.
God damn, shawty. Nah, she look like she'll do some shit like that. I ain't gonna lie.
As well as 2 counts of malicious prosecution. She was sentenced to 52
Damn.
years in prison.
Shit, hold up. Yeah, that was locked up an innocent man, bro, and laughed at him in the proceeds, man. Shit crazy, bro. Shit crazy. I'm gonna catch y'all on this one.